we'll all do our part.
An emotional fixer-upper in Houston, how Chip and Joanna Gaines are lending a hand to Harvey's survivors.
Astros win it!
Plus a World Series thriller, how the Astros took one giant step closer to the World Series.
And a new county program is helping families keep their loved ones' memories alive on Texas roadways. I'm Kathleen Suri. That story is coming up on News 10 this morning.
Right now on KWTX News 10 this morning, traffic troubles in Temple, why business owners are up in arms over a possible road closure.
And President Trump makes a Texas trip, and it really paid off for Republicans.
I'm making new friends ahead of Halloween. I'm Ryan Henson. Find out where I am and get a sneak peek of this haunted house coming up.
They never quit, and they're always going to be called champions.
Houston, we have a championship. We'll show you how the Astros pulled off the first World Series title in Texas history.
And an unexpected delay, why the first Twin Peaks shooting trial will drag on much longer than we all thought.
And a Central Texas organization that helps struggling families and their students is in need of some financial help of their own. I'm Kathleen Suri. The details coming up on News 10 this morning.
From the most watched station in Central Texas, this is KWTX News 10.
Good Thursday morning. I'm Tina Maya.
And I'm Pete Souza. 6 o'clock. It is November 2nd. Astros are the champions. Woo! Brady's wearing a tie. Tina's got the pennant.
We've got all kinds of things around here.
This one was up late last night.
So late I fell asleep on the couch.
Yeah.
That was late.
Luckily for a lot of Astro fans, it wasn't as stressful as most of the games were. You know, they jumped out early. Yes. Thanks to former Ranger Yu Darvish, who liked
got
to
off
lay
to
an
a
egg
rocky
for,
start.
Y'all just glad y'all traded for Verlander and not Darvish.
Okay, always an
Darvish.
excuse with you, Brady.
No excuses. He was just not very good. No, I was saying it's good news for the Astros.
Okay.
It wasn't as stressful because I've been through some of those game 6s and 7s that are stressful for Rangers and wasn't very good on the other end. So, but yeah, congratulations to the Astros. I do have my Astros tie on here. So that's for Christina, our producer, so to make her happy.
She's the real deal fan. She went to 2 series games.
Yeah, and she's got every bit. I'm sure she'll be one of those ones in line today buying all the Astros
I think she already
gear.
got it.
Yeah, and we've already got like a ton of stuff sitting back here. So let's talk about your forecast, show you what's going on. Getting out the door this morning, temperatures mild and muggy, 60s and 70s getting out the door. We'll talk about that in your full forecast right after this.
Of course, that's what everybody's talking about today. Astros fans are over the moon. That's because Houston just became the first ever Texas team to win the World Series.
The Houston Astros are world champions for the first time in franchise history.
Joe Buck with the call right there. The Astros beating the Dodgers in Game 7 in Los Angeles, and it wasn't even close. They had a 5-0 lead by the end of the second inning and coasted the rest of the way to the 5-1 win.
I'm so happy to be a part of it, to bring a championship back to a city that desperately needed one is a surreal feeling.
Let's face it, one of the reasons this is so great, 2 months ago, the site of devastation. Today, the home of the champions. After the game, fans poured into stores to pick up their championship gear. Coming up in the next half hour, we're showing you a big role Central Texas is playing in that rush. And Governor Greg Abbott tweeted out his congratulations to the team last night. Now, of course, he was blamed for jinxing the team in 2015 with the tweet that prematurely congratulated them on advancing to the American League Championship. They ended up losing the game, so he wanted to wait until the deal was sealed to break his Twitter silence this time.
And thankfully, he did. An organization that helps struggling students in Central Texas is now in dire need of some help of their own.
Yeah, Kathleen Suri joins us from the program's headquarters in Killeen with details of how they ended up on life support. Good morning, Kathleen.
Good morning. Communities and schools in the greater Central Texas area serves more than 5,000 students in 3 counties, Bell, Coryell, and Williamson counties. Part of Communities in Schools is their Angel Fund program, and that's an emergency financial assistance program that helps families who are in dire need of financial assistance. Say a single mother lost her job, or the family can't afford to pay rent and is about to be evicted from their home. Now, in 2015 to 2016 school year, the The Angel Fund assisted 18 families rather. The next school year, they helped 23 families and 5 so far this year. But with funding being low lately, officials say they're having to deny many of the requests for the Angel Fund that they receive. They say the goal of this program is to get these families out of some bad situations so they don't have to go back to them again. And of course, it's all about getting them on their feet so their children can focus on learning.
We're here to teach these children and their families to fish. We're not here just to hand out fish. We want to be able to get them on their feet, help them with a plan to get them on their feet so that they can get out of certain situations.
Communities and schools of Greater Central Texas serve 6 districts in the area on 48 campuses in Bell, Coryell, and Williamson counties. They have their own site coordinators that go into these schools and help out with tutoring, behavioral problems. Sometimes they even buy shoes for these kids if that's what they need to get them all the way to high school graduation. Reporting live in Killeen, Kathleen Suri, KWTX News 10.
The search is on this morning for a gunman who opened fire in Colorado at a Walmart, killing 3 people. Police say at around 6 o'clock, the suspect calmly walked into the store, pulled his gun, and started firing at random. 2 men and a woman were killed. The suspects got away in a red car. Police are now combing through surveillance video to try and piece together what happened. The family of a toddler who died after he was found unresponsive at daycare is one step closer to justice. Courtney Casanas was taken into custody and indicted for criminally negligent homicide. She's the operator of the Killeen Home Daycare, where 1-year-old Jackson Partridge Reed was found unresponsive and not breathing. He died on July 2nd, nearly 2 months later. His family spent the day outside of the Bell County Justice Center waiting for the indictment. They say they will continue fighting until this is all over.
We don't want to use him as an example, but that's what he's going to be, because nobody needs to go through this. Nobody deserves to go through this. And Jackson don't get to grow up.
An arraignment date and bond will be set later.
And we've got a major delay in the first Twin Peaks shooting trial. Testimony has been put on pause until next week. This comes at the request of the defense after new evidence was entered in the case against Christopher Jacob Carazal. He's the leader of the Dallas chapter of the Bandidos biker gang. Last week, the judge ordered all agencies involved hand over everything they had related to the 2015 shootout that left 9 people dead.
The information on the exhibits produced by the city of Waco could potentially give testimony necessary to a fair determination of guilt or innocence in the case.
The trial is expected to resume on Monday.
Right now it's 6:07, still ahead on KWTX News 10 this morning. There's a new sheriff in town. The big surprise awaiting this little guy who dressed up as the McLennan County Sheriff for Halloween.
And coming up on The Buzz, one person's trash is another person's treasure. We'll tell you about repurpose for a purpose.